The story begins inside Black Hills, a maximum security prison in Russia. Hidden deep within its walls, the inmates take part in brutal underground fights with no rules. These illegal tournaments are controlled by Gaga, a powerful crime boss who makes his fortune by betting on his best fighters. In the latest match, his star champion Vladimir Zikov proves his strength once again. Gaga watches with satisfaction, casually handing money to his assistant to fetch him a meal while discussing the fighter's inhuman power with the prison warden. The moment is interrupted when the clumsy assistant drops the cash, an old crippled inmate mopping. The floors notices it and calls out. Gaga, amused, offers to let him keep the money, but the prisoner refuses with quiet disdain. This man is no ordinary cleaner. He is Yuri Boya, once a legendary fighter, now broken by a severe knee injury from his last battle. Once feared across the world, he has become a silent hermit. With at least 15 long years still left to serve behind bars, Boya's latest request for early release has just been denied. Alone in his cell, he pushes himself to train, forcing his weakened leg to grow stronger. Again, he uses nothing but cleaning tools and sheer willpower, haunted by memories of his former glory. One day, Gaga comes to visit him. He remembers how much money Boya once earned for him and offers respect along with new privileges. Better living conditions, a different cell, even work in the prison library. But Boya rejects these comforts. He has only one request: to fight again. Gaga shakes his head, convinced the fallen champion is far from ready, and tells him he has no chance against Zikov, let alone on an international stage. Soon, another bloody match takes place in Black Hills. Vladimir Zikov crushes his opponent in violent fashion while somewhere nearby. Boya studies his every move in silence. He returns to his cell with determination burning inside him, pushing his injured leg harder than ever before. The forgotten warrior knows his time is coming. As the next tournament approaches, he makes his choice clear, shaving off his grown-out hair, ready to step back into the ring. The long-awaited day of the tournament arrives. This time, victory means more than just becoming champion of Black Hills Prison. The winner will earn a place in the very first international competition, where the prize is freedom itself, and the winner will fight for his freedom. Boy refuses to let the chance slip away. He steps forward, storms into the ring, and boldly challenges the reigning champion Vladimir Zikov, drenching him with a bucket of water to make his point. The guards rush to drag Boy out, but Gaga, confident that the injured veteran will not survive the fight, decides to let it happen. What follows shocks everyone. Boya, sharper and stronger than anyone expected, demolishes Zikov in less than a minute. The once untouchable champion falls unconscious outside the ring, while the prisoners roar from behind the fences, hailing Boya as their new king. Soon after, the fighter is transported under heavy escort across the border into Georgia, where he is delivered to Gorgon, another maximum security prison. At the same time, in a luxury hotel nearby, the criminal patrons of the international tournament begin to gather. Among them is Gaga, who still doubts his contender's chances. Inside the Georgian prison, Warden Kuss lines up the new arrivals. Most of the fighters stay quiet and obedient, except for Turbo, a brash American who makes it clear. He intends to win and walk straight out of Gorgon as a free man. I'm sorry. What did we say? Oh, I said you was a charming. Well, you the only one talking? What? While the inmates prepare, the powerful Georgian crime lord Mr. Rizzo hosts the visiting bosses at a lavish dinner, welcoming them to his city. The next morning, the warden lays down the rules. Every day, the fighters will be allowed 1 hour to train. But before that, they must perform hard labor. Shackled in chains, they are marched to a stone quarry in the mountains. Turbo, still full of arrogance, refuses to stay silent and argues with the guards about swinging the sledgehammer. Me, damn, shut your mouth, keep working. Meanwhile, the Colombian fighter Raul enjoys special treatment, lounging on a chair instead of breaking rocks, leaving the others to wonder why he has been spared. When Turbo catches Boya's cold, disapproving stare, he immediately turns his rage on him as well, but the guards step in before the fight can break out. Stop right now. You fight in the ring, nowhere else. Later, during training before the first official match, the American continues to provoke, yet Boya remains calm and refuses to take the bait. While most of the new arrivals train with intensity, the Colombian champion Raul takes a different path. He saves his strength, relying instead on the metal box of performance enhancers secretly handed to him by his boss. With this unfair advantage, he dominates sparring sessions with ease, tossing opponents around the ring like they are nothing. Soon after, the elimination stage of the survival tournament begins. In the first of 4 matches, a powerful Brazilian pounds the Greek fighter nearly to death with brutal strikes. Next, Turbo enters the ring and eliminates the Croatian in decisive fashion. Then comes Boya's turn to face the French contender. Gaga watches from the sidelines, expecting his former star to lose right away. At first, the fight is even, and tension rises with every exchange. Blood soon covers the canvas under Boya's relentless attacks, but the Frenchman refuses to stay down and charges again with fresh determination. In the end, Boya's strength proves overwhelming and he crushes his exhausted rival with a devastating blow to the chest. Still, As he leaves the ring, he limps noticeably on his injured leg. Finally, the main favorite, Raul, known by the nickname Dolor, which means pain, faces the agile fighter from North Korea. Raul turns the fight into a cruel spectacle, punishing his opponent mercilessly, while the crowd cheers until the bloodied man finally collapses unconscious. Once the round ends, Warden Kuss arrives at the infirmary to see the defeated fighters. He tells them coldly that their games are over, and their chance at freedom is gone. But instead of being sent back to their cells, the losers are taken away under guard, only to be executed in secret. For those who survive, the tournament continues alongside the hard labor in the stone quarry. Here, Turbo once again provokes Boya. Having noticed his weakness in the last fight, the American mocks him by striking at the damaged knee and taunting him non-stop with endless chatter. At last, the calm mask cracks. Boya snaps and lands a crushing blow to Turbo's jaw. Thrilled by the response, the American dives at him with fists flying. Eager for the fight he has been begging for. For starting a fight, both men are punished. Boya and Turbo are thrown into the pit, a freezing, foul-smelling hole where the air is so thin it is hard to breathe. Even here, the restless American does not stop. Through the bars of the metal door, he keeps taunting Boya, trying to get under his skin. After a night in the pit, the bosses arrive to check on their fighters. To their surprise, they discover that the inmates are being forced into hard labor at the quarry, swinging pickaxes and chains, something never agreed upon. Enraged, Gaga and Fornati storm into the warden's office to confront him, but Warden Kuss meets their fury with an icy stare, then points them toward the man standing silently behind them. It is Mr. Rizzo. Calmly, he explains the truth. The entire tournament is rigged. The other prisoners are being worked to exhaustion because they are meant to lose. Rizzo has already placed all his bets on the Colombian favorite, Raul, pouring whiskey into their glasses. He tells the angry gangsters to stop fighting the system, bring more money, and place their wagers on the same man. Back at the quarry, the torment continues. Chained together, Boya and Turbo are forced to break rocks side by side. The American, still itching for conflict, starts another heated exchange, keeping the tension between them alive. So I'll tell you what, I want nothing more but to get into your ass, but we going to do it in a ring where it matters. Got it? After a night in the pit, the fire between Boya and Turbo finally cools down. Instead of wasting strength on fighting each other, they start working in rhythm, saving energy. While the Colombian giant injects himself with another dose of performance enhancers, their teamwork slowly turns into respect. And for the first time, the two men find common ground. While hauling heavy stones, they talk about what their bosses already know. The tournament is fixed, and only Raul is meant to win. Boya also realizes something darker. Ingorgon's survival depends not just on victories inside the ring, but also on staying alive beyond its walls. Even after brutal labor, he refuses to stop training, and this time Turbo joins him. Meanwhile, Gaga and Fernat gather every cent they can to place their bets on Raul. Watching closely, the warden sees Boya and Turbo growing stronger. To protect Mr. Rizzo's guaranteed win, he orders both fighters sent to work without food, but instead of breaking them, the punishment fuels their resolve. On the quarry floor, the unlikely partners train harder than ever, doing push-ups, squats, and tossing heavy rocks in unison, while stunned guards and prisoners look on. The relentless training takes its toll. Boy's old knee injury flares up, forcing him to grit his teeth through the pain. Turbo notices and offers a remedy: mountain flowers. He explains that their oil can ease the ache, and Boya reluctantly accepts the help. Soon, the day of the semifinals arrives. Boya steps into the ring against the Brazilian, while Gaga, having already bet against him, hides his doubts and flashes his trademark gesture of support. The Russian attacks with ferocity, but the injury quickly slows him down. Watching closely, Raul notices the weakness in his rival's leg. Still, Boya endures the agony and traps the Brazilian in a crushing hold, forcing him to submit and securing his place in the final. For the first time, Mr. Rizzo shows signs of worry. Concerned that Turbo might also be strong enough to disrupt the plan, he gives Warden Kuss a direct order: neutralize the American before his next fight. The guards carry out the command with ruthless efficiency, beating Turbo nearly to death. When Boya finds him battered in his cell, Turbo insists through the pain that he will still step into the ring. "Doctor, if I can give him the satisfaction, you take care of business. You and me. We got to date in the ring." Right. Boya keeps training with full focus when Raul approaches from the shadows. The Colombian tells him he knows all about his past. The former king of prison fights, a man who once ruled the ring, but who also suffered a humiliating defeat. Before leaving, Raul hints darkly that Boya's American friend will not be alive much longer. After finishing his drills, Boya goes to check on Turbo. His cell is empty, but he soon finds him at the heavy bag, worn down yet still trying to push through. Both men are immediately sent back to the quarry for hard labor. Watching his friend struggle, Boya realizes Turbo cannot survive the next fight. At the quarry, He urges him to run for the forest instead of stepping back into the ring. Boya offers to break their chains, but Turbo refuses at first, saying it is his duty to fight until the end. Even if he loses, he would rather return to his prison than escape in shame. Their argument is interrupted by the old water carrier, who quietly tells them the truth. The defeated fighters do not go back to their prisons. None of them ever make it out alive. The revelation changes everything. Turbo finally agrees to Boya's plan. When a guard steps away, they try to smash their shackles, but the sledgehammer breaks before the chains do. The alarm is raised and guards rush in. A violent brawl erupts. Boya takes down the attackers with ease, but his weakened partner is beaten with clubs. In the chaos, Boya wrestles away the keys and unlocks Turbo's chains. With the help of other prisoners, the American manages to climb the hill and escape into the woods. Boya, however, is struck down by a rifle butt to the head, left unconscious as the rebellion ends. Boya wakes up in his cell, head still ringing from the blow. Leaning over him are Warden Cuss and Mr. Rizzo. The fighter demands to see Gaga, and soon the crime boss appears. Cold and detached, Gaga tells him he has already placed a new bet. This time on Raul, the man Boya must face in the final. I'm with the money. You just can't beat the Colombian. Ladies and gentlemen, in our final fight, Boya, the day of the ultimate fight arrives. Raul Doer stands across the ring from Boya. The referee signals the start, and the two men clash with equal fury. Every strike is blocked, every attempt at a hold countered. Then, in a brutal exchange, Boya takes a clean shot to the jaw. Blood sprays from his mouth along with his mouthguard, and his vision blurs with mocking images of Rizzo and his entourage. Fueled by rage, Boya explodes forward with renewed strength, trying to bring the Colombian down. But his opponent is ready. Raul seizes Boya's injured leg, twisting the damaged knee until the Russian screams in agony. As Boya writhes on the mat, Gaga and Fornity celebrate, certain their money is secure. Somehow Boya escapes the hold, but his offense stalls. Raul rains down strike after strike, and when Boya rises again, a crushing blow sends his broken body tumbling off the ring. The Colombian raises his arms in victory, while the referee begins the 10 count. On the floor, Boya's blurred vision catches the sight of a prison mop, sparking a flood of memories. Among them is Turbo's voice reminding him to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Summoning the last of his strength, Boya wraps his knee with a strip of cloth and forces himself up at the count of 8. Stopping the referee, he climbs back into the ring, ready to continue. The crowd roars for Raul, but as Boya rises and lands a crushing blow, the Colombian drops to the canvas. Suddenly, the arena falls silent, broken only by the sound of Boya's fists slamming into his opponent. When Raul hits the ground again, the silence erupts into thunderous cheers for the fighter who refuses to stay down. From their seats, Mr. After Rizzo and his partners watch in growing unease. Raul forces himself up, determined to finish the match by targeting Boya's injured knee once more. But this time the Russian stands unbreakable. When Raul attacks, his leg buckles against Boya's strength, leaving him broken on the mat. The prison erupts. Boya has reclaimed his title as the undisputed king of prison fights. And that's how this brutal prison tournament comes to an end. The name of the movie, as always, you'll find in the description. Drop a comment to share who you were betting on in this deadly showdown. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next epic recap. This is the most dangerous fighter on the planet, Yuri Boya. He's just out of a brutal Russian prison and ready to conquer the whole world. But even in his darkest dreams, he could never have imagined the challenges awaiting him on his journey to global dominance.